license out of his hand and drove up.
It's almost there.
Not even kidding.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting back to order. It is now 11:25, and we do have another delegation. I guess an email was sent in last week, and the party has come in to address council. So if you just want to come forward and state your name for the record and address council, we'll see what we can help you with. One of you can go to the podium, whoever's going to speak.
Sure.
Thank you.
The other person can sit down.
Yeah.
I'm Lacey Liebrecht. This is my mother-in-law, Jennifer Thomas. So we, she owns a property on Road 94 North in St. Clements. The property is section 23, 16, 7 East. It is the most westerly property on Road 94 North before it becomes Crown land. So I do understand, that at this point with what I've sort of indicated there in the email, that, there's no property west of us other than the properties that are directly north of us that are public, or rather private properties, not Crown land. So what we were trying to build our house on that property. We had submitted the building permits and the access permits and things like that, which were denied due to the road being not all weather. There is a gravel road there to access the property, but I guess it's not all weather. So we were informed by the RM that we need to build and pay for the road, but with the cost of building a house, obviously, we do not have that kind of money. So I was just inquiring if there is any assistance or accommodations or help that could be provided to us to help build the road.
Is this the property here?
No, not quite.
This one?
It is, where are we?
Is it by Anderson Road?
It's a mile south of Stead.
South of, oh.
Yeah,
oh,
Highway
okay.
12 and 94 north.
We're on that 94, okay, I was, well,
Sorry.
oh, would that be the one where that gravel pit goes up?
Yeah, there's a gravel pit
Yeah.
on our property and there's gravel pits west of us as
Okay.
well.
now I
You
know
said
what you're talking
94,
about.
did you not?
Yes, 94, but east of 59.
Okay, so you're only on Road 91 there, Deepak.
That road was flooded at the beginning of the year, wasn't it?
Yes, it gets
Yeah.
built up in
Yeah, I remember the road.
a little bit west of it.
But
yeah.
it's gravelled a little bit in all the way.
It's all the way gravel, yeah, but
And you're gonna build past where it's gravelled?
no, it's graveled.
Is there's no power lines going down that road right now?
There's power lines up to the last property to the east of us. So we have a,
Yeah, but there's 3 parcels, and this is, I think, where we were before.
Are you on the south side or the north side?
we're on the south side of 94.
Well, there was somebody who lived down that road there, on that south side.
Yeah, there's a few properties
Those-
east of us.
Those 3 there,
These 3 here?
I believe so.
But I forget the guy's name.
Can I show you?
Who, I think we have it now, but whose name is the property in?
Jennifer Sinclair Thomas. It's the
And how
whole
many
quarter
acre-
section.
It's the quarter section?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is not quite the right area.
You zoom out a bit more, Deepak.
Yeah, I
a bit better.
can
Yeah,
maybe indicate
very good.
more.
But
I
the,
think it's more east of where you are.
Yeah, keep going that way.
but the road has gravel on it, so what are they saying? It's not,
It's not all weather, so that,
It's
at
not- It's
that,
not a proper road.
yeah.
On what side of number 12 are you? Are you east?
I'm
or-
west of number 12, between 12 and 59.
You're west,
Here.
okay. All right.
This is the road
So
94
that's where the
there.
gravel pits are.
Okay, yes, so where your mouse
Where
is,
Darlene Stefan used to.
3 over and 1 down. 1 down now. That one right there. There we go. Now we're in the right property.
Loren used to live there, Dave Loren
Do you know Dave Loren?
used to live down that road. It would have been on the south side, and he had a long driveway, and you're past that.
Yes. So the hydro and I think the road essentially stops at the long driveway to the east of us.
And how much farther are you past that long driveway?
So I've measured approximately where we want our driveway to start is about 800 meters where the road ends. So it's a lengthy bit. So it's
So you want to go farther when the road ends? Is that what you're saying?
no, so if you look on the map there, the long
I'm
driveway
gonna
there
give
to the east.
I'm gonna give you the pointer.
Sure,
so you
yes.
can-
The red button.
Because we
There we
plowed that
are.
road in
Thank
the
you.
winter too.
So, yeah, so I think, okay, so this is the last driveway here, this guy.
Okay.
And the hydro stops here, and the road, the all-weather part of it stops here.
Yes.
So we want our driveway to begin here,
Oh,
to put the house on this sort of non-tree area right there. So it's quite a ways.
Yeah, because it's sort of like a bush trail after that.
A bit,
crosses
yeah,
that
it's
line.
still gravel, but
It was a
yeah.
gravel used, I think, for public
Yeah.
works in the past, just for transporting gravel. But it was never part of an official roadway, it hasn't been built to municipal standards.
Yeah, and they don't plow it.
And a requirement as per,
Yeah.
our requirements is that anybody that does development, that there is is required to build a municipal
Mhm.
road.
Yes, and I understand, and you know, like this property here is Crown,
Yes,
but this one and this one are not
correct.
in the zoning that I looked up. But yeah, so I guess just what we were just asking, if there's any possibilities for assistance.
Well, I guess it's something that, you know, council will have to discuss. I mean, you sent the email on Thursday, so
Yeah.
we haven't even
It's-
really had an opportunity to talk about it.
Yes.
The Public Works hasn't had a chance to look at it or anything, so if you could leave it with us, I see Councilor Boulanger has maybe a comment or a question. Go ahead.
Just a
Rob.
comment, just to advise the applicant is, normally we don't, that's a straight on answer.
Okay.
Like when someone wants to develop or build a road or a house, the road is up to them. So
Okay.
precedence wise, the straight on answer is normally we don't. If you
Okay.
want a gist of it.
Okay.
So I have a question, how much would it cost to, build up that road?
Public Works could estimate.
Yeah, Public Works would be able to give us an idea of what it would cost. Like, I don't know without seeing what it's like, is it lowland, does it have to be built up, or can it just be, done on grade as it is, you know, there's lots of questions.
Yeah, I think it would have to
But
be
it's
built
so
up. It does
low.
have one low spot that gets a bit mucky, but it's, yeah.
They would have an estimate, generally speaking, it's about probably around $400,000 to $500,000.
What length you got there, deep back?
0.48 miles.
0.4? Okay.
Go ahead, Councilor Sutherland.
You're down there, but I can't, up to that property, going down that road. Are there any ditches there? Can you remember?
East of it, there is a ditch, like the road is fully weathered up to that last driveway, but like once you hit the bush, it's been cleared a bit in the last year, right? It's been opened, it used to be very,
Yeah,
like, the trees would come over the drive, but now it's been opened a little bit, and there's more gravel put on it, but it's not, you know,
yeah.
I don't think it's fully, you know, as I do roadway design, that's my job, but, you know, as, you know,
There's ditches.
it doesn't have like full drainage, I would say.
It kind of goes, like the road goes like this, there's ditches on both sides, and then it comes, and then it kind of flattens out.
Yeah.
And the water all drains that kind of sits in the middle of the road, not in the road, but in the rid of the ditches there.
Mhm.
After you-
As you're
Right.
going-
One soft spot.
Yeah.
As you're going west to Gully Pits, you run into gravel pits all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight out, there's pits there.
and so essentially, we wanna actually build on our property, but most people just use our property to drive their bikes in.
Go ahead.
So if I could, the issue here is that you need a municipal road to apply for permits.
Yeah.
And what this is, there is a public right-of-way, but there's no municipal road. The municipal road has to be constructed to
To
municipal
standard,
standards.
yeah.
The municipal standards are provided, and I think you probably have access to them or read them.
Yeah, well, I've been provided the specs.
Yeah, and so I think the solution would be that you don't necessarily have to take it all the way to where you want. You can take it
Yeah, to the
just
corner there.
to the corner and then build it less for the rest of it. And build in a driveway, maybe even just from the corner you're accessing it,
Mhm.
might make it a little bit easier as opposed to
Yeah, a little
going the whole
shorter.
way. So those are options available.
Mhm.
Once you do have a municipal road, you could subdivide the land, do other things.
Yeah. Is it, slightly off topic question, is it, how long, or I guess like I kind of looked online at how long it takes to subdivide, but my father-in-law owns the property 3 over, an 80-acre piece of property, yeah, that one there. He offered to subdivide his. Does that take a long time? Because we have already paid our builder 5% of our building costs, but, yeah, I'm just trying to weigh out our options, to build a road or
No,
subdivide a property.
That's a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have access to more accessible land, it might be a little bit way easier
Cheaper,
for you.
yeah.
You're trying to build in an area that really there's not a lot there.
Yes.
Is there an existing house on that property?
There is an existing house. It's, yeah,
That one,
yes, that property.
it's in A80 zone.
80, yeah.
So can it be divided?
You could do
You
it.
could do it as a farm split.
Farm split.
Yeah, you could do one,
So big,
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe if you wanna do it fast, you would build on the 80 and then, which you could, and then split it after.
Split it after.
That's where
Is
you're
that-
not gonna lose your
No,
5%.
because
No,
there is a
there
house
is
on
a
there
house
already.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
so you'd have to do a one-off farm split,
Which wouldn't be,
wouldn't take that long.
and shouldn't be a bigger issue here because it's not really farmland.
No,
It's
it's trees,
bush.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're not gonna get any pushback from the province of Manitoba
Increase.
saying it should be kept for agricultural purposes because it's agriculture, 80 acre as a minimum
Yeah.
requirement there. But when I'm taking a look at it, let me just turn off the zoning to see what it looks like. So,
Yeah, like his house is pretty, off to the side there, so I feel
so
like.
he could probably look at just splitting it down the middle, and say that I'm going to make this, so you could build a house in the opening here if you wanted to,
Yeah,
or cut down a few trees
yeah,
and put something in there. That might be an option. That way you could just build a driveway through there,
yeah,
which would be easier. This one, you could, if you built the road,
yeah,
you'd be able to
awesome,
do something.
yeah. I appreciate everybody, yeah.
I have a question. Now, if we go that way, my land, what can I do with my land?
Well, you could sell it, definitely.
No, I'm
That's not an
selling
option.
my land. But what can I do, like recreational activities, like summer?
It's, the
Just
zoning
Could
is,
we, yeah, could we charge people to drive their ATVs on?
Because I'm having a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
I put up signs like private property, no hunting, all those signs, I got them made in Selkirk. And I put them all up all around my property. There's only about 4 left. People have taken them. Some of the ones that were in front
Mhm.
of my property, they took them down. And then there was one that was kind of high up on the tree. somebody shot it up.
It's unfortunate, people won't,
People are
Mm.
disrespectful.
People are disrespectful and they
yeah,
can't, they
it
can't.
means,
There was one time, my daughter and I went for a ride that way, it was in November, just, at the beginning of November. And we drove into where we have our fire pit. And we noticed there was a carcass in our fire pit,
Ribs
just, the ribs and everything. The antlers were gone. Sportsmanship.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Agreed completely.
So I told my daughter, we'll just leave all of this here, the animals will have a feast. Leave it for the animals. And then we would go and check it every once in a while, sure enough, the animals, the birds and squirrels. In the springtime, the bones were just picked clean, so I just picked up the bones and just put them in the
Yeah, so I guess, unfortunately, I don't know that we're gonna be a lot of help to you, but you have a couple of options that we've kind of given you, so if you want to take it back and think about it, go ahead, Councillor Strang.
I was gonna say to contact a few of the neighbors around there that own property too, maybe they would be interested in join in with building the road with you also.
Yeah, that's an option.
Like just
This
to,
is the RM.
oh, okay.
Oh, the RM that owns those roads, those properties to the north?
Yes.
Oh,
Two
okay.
of them, yeah.
So they have no intention.
Yeah,
This one is owned by someone, but they already have access.
the road is already
And
up
so
to that point.
what you basically have, and it's zoned as A80, and according to the A80, there are some things you could do. So if you wanted to turn and utilize it to maybe recreation purpose or something, you could certainly look and see if that is available.
Okay.
And you can make an appointment with us initially and then with planning to see what other options you have available for that land if you decide to build in here.
Sounds good.
I said a dirt bike track.
Yes, that would be easiest, I think. A gate with a pay booth and.
Yeah,
Well,
those
thank
are
you.
very popular.
Yes.
And there's not many of them around anymore, so.
But I imagine somebody lives here, right?
Yes,
You have to
It's
take
the
that into
next one
consideration.
over, Deepak.
yeah, ours is that one,
Found
one.
yeah, the whole yard.
Is it this one? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's people that bought land from Eugene.
Yeah,
that
the one between Fells and Hamilton on it.
So the people next to us, that's Professor Dyke.
To the
Heather
Yeah,
Dyke,
the immediate east one, yeah.
just next to us. So they come through that,
That intersection
intersection
at
there.
the right of way,
And
they go
one
on our
time
property.
when we were going there, they were coming. So we talked, and I told them this, this was my land, and then he told me they bought that land from Eugene. I knew that already anyway. And they, Professor Dyke asked me for permission to come to our land to get to their land.
Come through your land to get to their land. Where are they coming from? Aren't
So
they
they-
coming over?
Yeah, they don't have a driveway, they have something in the back of like their tree bush there. But they drive down that right of way onto the little sand path that goes onto our property and then through the trees.
So they come down here and then come through here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you can see a bit of a road
yeah,
kind of built in there. So they're using this
yeah,
as a way. It looks like they're coming in through here.
yeah. And then they have some sort of structure back there, I'm not sure what it
Yeah,
is.
there's a little, looks like a little building right there.
Did they ever test for gravel on that land? It's mostly sand
It's
there.
mostly-
Yeah, it's mostly sand. Yeah, and Eugene, last fall, he texted me and he said, just a heads up, he said, we sold our property to Professor Dyke and Heather Dyke and Paul Dyke. And he said, they're going to, their property is going to be a recreational property.
Well, other than,
Recreational, as in
Just probably for themselves.
personal recreational?
I have no idea, he said recreational property,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
well, the other option is now that we are talking about it and, you know, there is another owner there, I'm wondering if they might want to cost share in putting that road for that half mile.
Because when I was talking to them, Professor Dyke asked me, are you going to go off the grid? I said, no, I want electricity on my land when we built, because at the time I thought that things were going to go smoothly, you know? Because I'm not very familiar with municipal laws and everything else, because I come from a reserve up north. So, but I've been living down south for quite some time, and I own that land. And, you know, I was thinking about what can I do with my land? And then I thought, I'm going to give it to my youngest son. That's Patrick. And we talked about it, and we came up with this plan to, you know, build on my land, and all three of us would go on it.
I'm just looking where that, it looks like it's a water to the east there. Is that where they were gonna build a golf course at one time, do you remember?
Is that man-made lake? Is
Yes.
that-
Not to my
yeah.
right.
Just north of Dennis.
Yeah, just north of Dan's, Dan is my dad's
Probably
husband.
gravel pit, water, that building.
There was a number
a
of
marsh
years ago, who
kind
was
of-
that was gonna build a golf course there? There was a gentleman that was very interested in building a golf course, and I thought he had done a couple of holes, and then the whole project fell through, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Well, I
before,
don't-
we used to live in East Selkirk on Strathmore Road.
I
Yeah,
thought you
my
looked
children
familiar.
went to Happy Thought School, 4 of them. Danny, Rose, Aaron, and Doris.
Well, I don't think we were much help for you today, but it
Yeah.
gave you some
It
ideas
was
and
helpful.
something to think about, so.
We'll
Yes.
figure something out.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Oh,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
the time and putting us on your agenda as well.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, communications for action, number 5 on our agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The first item on the agenda, 5.1, is invitation on June 16th for June the 30th. We must reply by the 16th for the East Beaches reopening celebration, and it'll be 3 to 4 p.m. on June the 30th. And so we'll see if he was interested.
Well, I will be going because I don't know if it's in here, but I did get a call yesterday, and I thought that there was something in here that they want me to speak, they want me to say a few words, so. And I did get a call yesterday from Sherry Dangerfield, and we had a little chat about it, so.
What day is that?
Friday.
It's a Friday.
I put down that I would attend, I'll try to.
Yeah.
So resolve Mayor Feeble-Corn and Councilors Dave Sutherland, Sandra Strand, and Robert Boulanger be authorized to attend the East Beaches Heritage Wing Museum reopening at Grand Marais Community Central and RV Park on June 30th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Bazarowicz, Councilor Corbett seconds. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. And the next one is the invitation for Pegwis Day this coming Sunday.
Correct. and I think they've asked the Madam Mayor to do a little speech in there, as well as, Madam Mayor, this would be the opportunity to also the two prints that we had purchased from Red River Basin. They could be, and the intent was to give it to the church.
Yes,
They could hand over.
yeah, I did send Wendy an email yesterday, and I'm waiting to hear back from her about presenting the prints to them, yeah. When I had spoken to her a while back, she said their next event isn't till this one. And I think with the change in, I guess, councils, it was not, she's not even sure exactly how the day is going to roll out, so I was wanting to speak to her about that, so.
If the council remembers, we purchased the prints last year for fundraising for the Red River Basin.
Okay,
Resolved, Mayor Feeblecorn and Councilor David Sutherland be authorized to attend the Public Day at the Old Stone Church in East Selkirk, Manitoba on June 18th, 2023.
can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horvis, second. Councillor Spicer, any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
Next one is for the Safe Grad request, Madam Mayor, for the Lord Selkirk Regional Comprehensive School. And the tickets are $50, and they've asked us to attend on June the 12th.
Right. If there is someone else that is interested to go, June the 29th.
Well, sorry, June 29th.
You kind of scared me there.
Yeah, I just realized it was the 13th today.
Yeah. If there is anybody else that's interested, I know I did attend last year, and basically it was the grad dinner, and the grads did the walkabout the arena and things like that. But if someone else is interested to go this year, I would be fine with not attending. So I've just got, there's a lot on my plate, and I've been going and going. So if someone else is interested, please feel free to put up your hand.
Are we only invited because we give a donation? Is that the
I
reason?
believe so, because you know what, last year was the first year that we were ever invited.
I thought so.
And one of the ladies had mentioned to me that, you know, they've had a change in their, I guess, their committee for grad, and they thought it would be a good idea to have those that provide funds for the event to be present at the event, so. Okay.
Okay,
I guess
resolved.
I'm going, if someone else chooses to go, like Sandra, if you,
Mr. Administrator was in smiling.
if you decide that you may want to go and you get the time off, just let me know and we can trade around. It's not like it's this week kind of thing, it's in a couple of weeks, so.
Well, and I don't know how to put this, I mean, we're invited, but I don't think it's, yeah, we give money, we support it, but to me, I don't think it's imperative that someone be there. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
If you
yeah.
had kids there, if your
Yeah.
kid, you know what I mean, sort of thing, it gives it more meaning, but if you're
And
just
I
there.
won't, and I won't disagree with that, but I guess I feel too that when you are invited, I know last year the other elected officials were there from the other municipalities, so it's kind of like, no, it's not imperative that we're there, but because we're invited, I always feel that we should make an appearance.
And it is nice that we're recognized and that we do give a donation.
Okay.
Resolved, Mayor Feeblecorn be authorized to attend the Lord Selkirk Regional Comprehensive School Secondary School Safe Grad reception at the Selkirk Recreation Complex on June 29th, 2023.
Can I have a mover? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Spicer seconds. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, we are down to number 541, RM of Lac Tavani, and that is their Eastern District Municipal Golf Tournament.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and it will be held on July the 6th at 9:30, and registration fee is $130 per person, and they've asked us to register as soon as possible. We've kind of run out of time on that. And last year, they raised some $6,700 plus $6,700 plus dollars, and the money went towards Lactavani Food Bank, Lactavani Community Garden, Food Hamper Committee, as well as the Trail and Lee River and the Lackawanna Youth Center.
Okay, if we have a resolution,
Sure.
we can bring it forward, please.
Resolves Councillor Scott Spicer, Glenn Bassarovich, and CAA with the impact Josh should be authorized to attend the Eastern District Golf Tournament at Granite Hills Golf Club on July 6, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, Councillors Strang seconds. All those in favor? No other takers for that?
I'm going to the Netley one.
I was just gonna say, do you need a team of 4 that maybe Councillor Vargas would like to join?
He
No,
says he's
something-
heading over to town.
I just thought that. No worries.
Thanks anyways.
Okay, so that's passed. And the next one we have is Inclusion Selkirk.
Another golf tournament, and this one is $140 per person, and it's being held on August the 24th at the Selkirk Golf and Country Club.
Is this a new one?
I think
It's
so.
new
This has
to
only
us.
been new to us.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
What
It's
is-
only the
what
third
is-
annual.
What is Inclusion Soccer? What is this section?
That is the disabled people, Inclusion Selkirk. They do the Wish Me and they look after the
Riverside Grill.
Riverside Grill and
Oh, okay.
so I guess they're trying to raise some money because they want to build a new building, I think is what it says in the invitation, if I remember correctly.
Correct, yeah. They've said that they're looking at, provides partners, collaboration with the community, support various, we will support their children. We look forward to inviting you, and it said also that they were looking at doing some cover the cost of programs and services and cover the costs to the building itself.
We have been attending this.
We have been attending this?
Glenn attended in 2019. We also attended a barbecue in 2019, and then last year nobody could attend it. So it was since 2019.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Councilor.
Madam Mayor, I remember yourself and myself, now she said that about it. We went to the Riverside Grill, remember they had
Cakes. No, that was something
was
else.
that something else? Okay. I just know they mentioned to us about Riverside Grill that they would
Yeah.
open up for us.
Yeah. So is anybody else interested to participate?
I thought you got clubs. You told me you got clubs. Why didn't
They're
you come?
dusty.
Yeah, why didn't you come?
They're still in the box.
So what?
Councilor
We're
Horwath,
getting there, we're
on
getting
his
there.
own.
I'm not gonna go by myself next time you come here. Why don't you come? There you go. It's not, you hit the ball once, it's no biggie. So the driving range one time,
You're gonna go to Netley.
yeah.
Just wait, we're getting to.
Well, this is after Netley, so you'll have practice at Netley and then you can go to this one.
See when the date is.
August the 24th for this one, for Inclusion Selkirk.
What day is that of the week?
Oh, I don't know.
What
Not
day of
in
the week
town,
is that?
sorry.
What?
I'm not in town.
Oh, you're not in town?
No, just-
August 24th is a
Thursday.
Thursday.
Who's on one?
Councilor Horwath.
Councilor Horwath.
But I think if Deepak wants to go,
Put a question mark by it.
I did too.
I'll try to go. I mean, yeah,
Well, see, if you all put your hands up, then we have a team of 4, and Sandra's off the hook for this time.
we're going to Deepak, you want to go?
Well, I think we all four right here.
No.
Yeah.
Well, if
Right,
somebody
so I-
Somebody might can't go, then
Yeah,
you'll
then
be
you
the
can
fifth guy.
be the
Deepak.
fifth. Yeah,
I can be the backup. You will identify the four.
okay.
Okay, so resolve Councilors David Orbis, Councilor Scott Spicer, Councilor Glenn Bassarovich, and Councilor Rob Boulanger be authorized to attend the inclusion soccer golf tournament at Southwood Golf Course on August 24th, 2023.
Can I have a mover, please? Counselor Strang, second. Counselor Sutherland. Call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
Okay, so now what we have is the one at Netley Creek. And we have resolved Mayor Fiegelkorn, Councilors Robert Belanger, Sandra Strang, Glenn Basrovich, and Scott Spicer be authorized to attend the Association of Romus Valley Golf Tournament at Netley Creek Golf and RV Park on August 3rd, 2023.
Well, where's your name?
I put mine in there too, didn't I?
Well, we can add that as well.
You may as well just
Isn't
make
that
it
right?
mayor and council
Okay, resolve Mayor and Council
and
and
CAO.
CA will be authorized to attend the Association of Romus Valley Golf Tournament at Netley Creek Golf and RV Park on August 3rd, 2023.
Well, we are the host. I mean-
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah. Dave?
Yeah, it's coming.
Dave can come and help if he so wishes, but I do hope that he will come for
You
dinner.
can be bartender.
Well, maybe I could do that.
Or designated
Never seen me in a
driver.
golf
You can
tournament
drive the
yet.
car.
Okay, can I have a mover,
Well, I
please?
figured they supplied them all.
Counselor Strang,
Let's
second. Counselor Spicer, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried.
So you're going away on the 24th, or you're going to the States to practice golf, or what? To Palm Beach, or what?
Backyard.
Focus.
Okay, this looks like the next one on our agenda. We're down to number 6, new and other business, and the first item is the development agreement.
Yes, Madam Mayor, and in this development agreement, what it is for is the little shed for the fiber optic,
Little tower.
little tower.
Little tower.
And
The
so it
little
is just the
tower.
signing of the
The
development.
little tower shed.
Where's that put that tower?
Okay,
So, resolved that the development agreement dated June 13th between Arma St. Clements and FHW Law Office be accepted, and the mayor and CEO will be authorized to sign and seal state.
can I have a mover, please? Counselor Spicer, second. Counselor Sutherland, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, the next one is a subdivision, a resolution amendment for a subdivision.
Next one is the land purchase.
Oh, sorry. Okay, land purchase on Kirkness Road.
So what this is we've been made, request has been made to purchase the land along Kirkness Road. That was the old tracks, and it's been estimated at some $74,000, and the exact amount is, hang on one second, is $74,579.88. And the applicant is prepared to pay for that.
Okay, can you go back to the map and blow it up a little bit, please?
Well, it's right along Kirkman.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What would somebody want to spend that money for that little narrow
Doesn't have
piece?
they own it?
Because he's,
Access.
he owns property in there, and it is, if
Oh.
I may, he's buying the other piece as a joint to it off his family.
Okay.
And he has to buy out his brothers.
Yeah, but I guess the question that I would have is, there's another little strip in there between the orange line and the actual property. Who owns that little piece? That strip right in there?
Good question.
Let me bring it up,
I'm
72074.
I think that's his. It should show where his house and,
Okay,
This is the piece of property that they're looking to acquire. This one is, looks like it's part of the municipal right of way.
Might be a railway, yeah.
Debbie,
Yes.
this is the same as Steamchuck, there was that little tiny bit of right away, So when we did the same process with him, that right away got closed. During,
And where did it go though?
to him, like it, when he's part with.
It would be
It's
sold to
part
the
of,
adjoining
it's
landlord.
part of the.
Yes,
Are we doing the same thing here, or are we gonna be closing, so we have
we
to
would be
go-
closing the
And-
piece. Right away, yeah.
So that'll all get amalgamated to James and lots.
Yeah.
This is just an older map and probably would skip in.
So does that cost us money to close that?
He has to pay.
They'd be
They
paying for
He
that.
has to.
Is there the possibility that a lot of the, we could send something out to a lot of these people that, because they're just using it, even along Raleigh Road there. They're just using the right away from wherever the train tracks were before. Some of them own it, some of them, it's still left as ours.
Using it in what way? Like,
They planted trees, they're using it as their yard.
Do you make eye contact with it, or do you?
Yeah, yeah, good question.
What sort
No,
of-
this is good, this is good. I guess I have another question
But some
though.
people have offered it. just to
Does
say
the
that's money.
same person own all this land? Because it looks as if there's 4 different owners there. Now, and if we sell it to just one person, is that gonna cause issues?
at Thanksgiving dinner.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, he's purchasing the whole thing, but yet there's 4 different people here.
Well,
And are they all in his name, I guess is the next question. Are all 4 of those parcels in the same,
Robert Weed,
okay?
Robert Weed, Robert Weed. These 3 are all him. That's
Okay,
where the line stops here.
okay.
I guess at the end
Now,
of the
that little corner is separated. And
That's
we don't-
us.
That's us. Well, this one is us as well.
Yeah,
So this corner could be sold to this, which is also Robert E. Weed. So he owns this, and
okay, he does, it's all Robert J.
And Robert J. Weed, Robert J. Weed, Robert J. Weed, and Robert J. Weed.
So at the end of the day, the onus isn't on the purchaser to call everybody and say, hey, I'm buying this property, like really, it's not up, right? It's not,
It's
No,
up to the responsibility of the RM to make sure that they look at adjoining landowners.
Yeah,
Because you don't want to sell to somebody else at the detriment of.
others.
right,
And this right away, it's closed off anyways,
yes,
and so it's of no use, it doesn't exist anywhere else. So I imagine that right away was there when the tracks were there. It is
Like
used
this
here,
person next door is already
St.
bought
Francis
theirs.
Drive. It just wasn't used to the north.
right.
So we could, so this would allow us to close the right of way and incorporate that entire, and then this will all become part of the large
Yeah,
piece of land.
So there is a piece of property, 2 over that hasn't,
2 over,
okay, no, you're, just where you were. Go
to the south,
yeah. You'll see the one next door has,
this one hasn't, yes.
but this one hasn't, right?
So there's no municipal use that we know of.
We could certainly contact that individual and see, this person hasn't.
You know that one stretches in,
Yeah, we
right?
we have done that.
In the past,
3
they're not
times,
interested.
I think.
Oh, contacted.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Are they doing stuff on that land? We can start doing that on enforcement.
Sure.
Kind of looks like there's an access over it.
Yes, they have access over it.
Mhm.
Do they get permission for that access?
Mhm.
I'd have to look.
Because they just hug the land.
I'll give,
Well, like if you see that there, that access is right beside the other property, which is owned by someone else. So that access wouldn't be appropriate. Certainly look at it in the bylaws.
I'm just saying, and I know we have a lot down south too, that where the train tracks went through that, and they have planted trees, and like, it looks very nice, and like, let's offer, and what are we gonna do with those little pieces? They're already using them, so, and putting
You can make some
things
money.
on, yeah.
Might as well get the dollars.
That's what I'm saying, make some money.
And this has not been, like, this is an odd sort of setup here, because the road was built along St. Francis. And so people have access, but then we have these little square pieces of land
Oh my goodness.
that are now,
I bet, locked.
yeah, well, they're not really landlocked.
What is that, a drain there between?
Looks like.
It's like the, yeah, it's the, I believe
We
it's the
wanna
division
keep that
between.
land though. There's your drain.
Yes, we're gonna need access to it, but how many acres is it?
You know, what's it say?
Half an acre.
Half an acre.
But all those
Right.
pieces add up to quite a bit, right?
Yeah, but you could amalgamate it and sell it as 1 acre.
Yeah. Interesting.
Because you got road access up at St. Francis.
Mhm.
You could take that, .2, .4, and .4, and turn it into 1.2.
And that's all ours, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, frick. Amalgamate it and sell them. What would a lot go for, in that area, at an acre, 1 acre?
That should be made like.
There's no service there.
Just roughly, ballpark.
Anywhere
Buck
from,
and a half,
pardon?
buck and a half.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for an acre, yeah, you could probably get,
1, 2, there's
off of a municipal road, you could get, yeah.
There's about 300,000 in our coffers. 400.
Go ahead, Dave.
Just a comment, I mentioned this a couple of years ago. A lot of these rail beds that we have, and we do have a hole, we've got tandems. We could reclaim a lot of that gravel, and when we did our Dunning transfer, that's what we did, because I was there at home, and we know, and it's good, those rail beds are good gravel base,
Oh,
not made out of mud, like, it's topped with gravel there. It's just, there's a lot of gravel sitting there that we could reclaim. And I think with our own equipment, I think it's worth it. And there's a lot of places where these old rail beds are.
Those rail
What do
beds,
you
I
think?
remember we loaded that out of there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, our loader was there, yeah.
was that your loader?
Yeah. Dave Starr was on.
Okay.
And
Well,
further,
Orvis was there too. Shane was, or not Shane,
Earl?
further south is the ones.
but there's lots of gravel in those rail beds.
Yeah.
It's almost $500,000 we
For
created.
that part,
Yeah,
and
we
then
created-
further south, people have built long driveways,
Mhm.
right off of Kirkness, right over that land.
Yeah.
And we could still sell the property after, we just take the gravel off
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
It would probably be worth it even if we didn't have the equipment to move it ourselves, but, I don't know, just a thought, something to think about. There's thousands of yards of gravel.
What do we need, what could we do with it? If we
You
took
could,
it?
you could,
No, but I mean, yeah.
we could still stockpile it or.
On DeSaltis Road there, with Roger and Legal, who wants a road
What is
fixed.
it used for?
Go dump it there.
It's good gravel.
Oh, there, yeah, well, you don't need much there. We should gravel that road because everybody goes fishing down there anyways. That road should get gravel. It wasn't last year, but the year before it was.
Okay,
Okay, so are we good with,
so you'd like, you're comfortable with proceeding with this one, with land
Yes.
purchase?
yeah,
Okay. Resolve, council authorizes CAO to declare roll number 247350 as surplus land. Further be it resolved that council authorize the sale of a portion of the Atlantic Railway to adjoining roll numbers 246900, 247000, 2470-100, 248500 for $74,579.88 plus GST to Mr. Robert Weed, with a 50% deposit and the remaining balance due prior to registration of subdivision at one of my client title's office. And further be it resolved that Mr. Weed be responsible for all costs incurred for the sale of the land, including but not limited to subdivision and variation fees, engineering and legal fees, and $300 administration fee as set out in bylaw 14 of 2009.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, second Councillor Strang. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Okay,
Okay, dust control policy? No.
no,
Resolution amendment.
Resolution amendment.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. What this one is an application that came forward and the requirement was to do engineering, an engineered drainage plan as part of the requirements. But after discussions with Public Works and the review of the topography of the land, it was determined that only a swale would be needed, as it does drain naturally into the creek there already. And so what we're recommending is an amendment to that resolution.
Okay, thank you for that. Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
This one's right in the road.
Yeah.
It's right on Church.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a natural drain that goes through that property, and it actually goes under the railway track and then behind the post office through another yard and into the creek, so it's a natural drain. Go ahead, Councillor
I
Strand.
was gonna say, isn't a swale drainage plan anyways? It's just you specify more in your drainage plan of what to do?
Well, a drainage plan would have required an engineer to come in there and review and then develop details and then say, yes, use this, create a swale. In this case, our own Public Works staff the topography is well enough that it's just put a swale in to make sure it's
It
drained.
gets more particular than the drainage plan when you put that, okay.
Correct. It has to be staffed by an engineer, which will be hundreds and hundreds.
I just thought that we could decipher for a drainage plan, so that's why I was wondering why that was coming up, because I thought that's our decision of what we need to put there. So, okay, thank you very much.
Okay, do you have a resolution for that one?
Yes, I do, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
So we can find- Whereas an engineered drainage plan for subdivision S232987 is not required, therefore be it resolved, Council remove the condition 1D, an engineered drainage plan be prepared to indicate positive drainage on the property to the satisfaction of the Arm of St. Clements and to ensure that the proposed property does not drain onto or impede drainage from neighboring properties. As
Yeah.
previously approved by Council Resolution 2023-118.
Can I have a mover, Councillor Horvath, second, please. Councillor Sutherland, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried.
Sorry for the delay, I had to take a breath.
That's okay.
You're still on holiday.
Okay, now we're at the dust control 6.4 on the agenda, please.
As per policy 519, approved by Council for the dust control policy, we have made a policy that discussed about providing opportunity for property owners to pay extra for additional dust control on their properties. Last year, I think we had about 2.
I got a couple this year.
Yeah. And so what this does, every year we have to establish a price based on what they're charging us for the dust control. So this year was, or for 2022 is 182, and for 2023 will be 197 as a minimum purchase requirement. And so for that, we have a resolution brought forward with the administrative report, which says, that whereas as per dust control policy 592, the municipality shall set a price per square meter for additional dust control applications at the start of each application season, and therefore be it resolved, the cost per square meter for dust control application will be set out at 54 cents per square meter for 2023.
Question? How, you may not know this or the logistics of it, how is it coordinated? Like, for example, if somebody wants to pay for extra dust control, or in my case, I live on a boundary road, my neighbor missed his dust control timeline, so he doesn't have it, he's broken it. If he pays for, now that we got this policy, I've been waiting for this policy to come in, now that we have this policy addressed, we don't know the logistics of the timelines, is that if he pays for it, when the truck's going to go. Because right now, they're gonna dust control in front of me soon. Once it's done, would they come back and make a special trip for these people that want the extras, want to get that?
If we have enough, they have had,
Okay,
and sometimes they're within the area, they have come back
okay,
for some of those individuals. But within Public Works, they kind of lay out the schedule, once the person makes the request, they try to work with them the best they can. I don't think we refused anybody last year.
once we approve this today, is he able to call and pay for it? Like-
He's able to call them and
Okay.
see if we can help coordinate it.
Okay, good.
Okay. I'm not sure if I had a mover.
No.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, second Councillor Spicer. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, 6.5 is the Manitoba Good Roads Association. And that was, I believe it was on our last agenda, and we were all supposed to go and put our thinking caps on and have a ride around and see if we could find some nice yards to submit for the Good Roads competition. I'm not sure if anybody has handed anything into Heather, or if Heather has had any self-declared or anything from Public Works. Okay, well,
So we can lay this over till next meeting again, Madam Mayor, and we'll look at also identifying any roads for Public Works as well. But at this point, there are nothing identified, and we have until June 30th to submit. I would remind council that if we could look at identifying some properties, because we have a much more of a stake in it this year with our mayor being the chair of Good Roads.
thank you for that. Yeah, and I guess I was just gonna say, I mean, we all kind of, not all of us, but most of us drive around and we go certain places, like, kind of keep your eyes open for a nice yard, or even the buildings, if the buildings are in nice shape and things like that, then we could submit it as a yard, whether it be a farmyard or, you know, a rural residential yard. And I guess I feel it's important that we do put some yard sites into this competition. So, go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
So process-wise, I have one in mind, so if I provide the address, then the office will contact them and get the okay, or how does this work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can find more than one, I'm sure. Anybody else, questions or anything?
What do you recommend? When the best road, just like?
I
No,
got
we-
too many weeds right
Got a
now.
little more work to do.
So, and I mean, even if they're on Henderson Highway or wherever, I mean, we should be submitting a number of, and then I would really urge our CAO to consult with Public Works to make sure they put in some roads. Go ahead, Councillor Sullivan.
Mentioned George Walker Gloria comes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Last year, was it submitted?
I'm not sure if it was or not, but we can put it in for this year. I mean, you know, Heather or someone from the office could get a hold of them and see if it would be okay. As far as I remember, I thought we only had the one that was submitted, and that was the one that self-declared, and he ended up winning.
Well, I haven't been up there lately, but I'm sure it'll be the same as like they really ridiculous, their yard and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. And you did mention that before. I thought you
Yeah.
mentioned that a few times.
I did, I don't know how far it went, but.
yeah.
So
Okay, and-
that's one I would like
right,
to.
okay, and I think Heather might have made a note of it, and Councillor Spicer, if you could just let Heather know who's.
Yeah, I'm gonna check with the number and make sure
Yeah.
I get it right.
Yeah,
I think I know what it is, but
yeah,
There's Heather, there's one in Legal too. Surprise. It's Primax. Yeah, Primax.
Right back.
Yeah.
Related to John or what?
No, John's brother's son.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
really nice, yeah.
So we have a couple that we can put in. I'm gonna maybe take a ride through, a couple of subdivisions just to see if I can find anything the next couple of
There's some
days.
nice places in that subdivision when we went knocking there.
Goodman.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah, Goodman was some really nice.
Well, Goodman's is one, and then the one to the north of, just to the north of there, there's some really big houses in there, and then there's the one just off of CIL Road. So there's, you know, they're not that far away, and there's some really nice homes in there, so. Okay.
Strawberry patch, there's some really nice ones in
Yeah.
there too.
So,
Okay, so next item, so we'll bring it back for next meeting to finalize. And so, the other is Shelley Napier has contacted us about for a 2.5-hour training session with council. The training would be for how to deal and communicate with our residents, especially related with emergency management and so forth. And Tyler, as our emergency coordinator, is recommending this, and so I'm hoping council will approve it. So the resolution for this hasn't been prepared yet, but we can certainly say that we authorize doing a 2.5-hour training session, and we need to pick a date in July. That would work.
Is it for Matt or for us?
For us.
We have to,
Didn't we
I believe
take
it's
some-
regularly, but I think we have to get it done every so often to update our emergency measure certificates.
is this similar to the exercise we did here, or no?
No, this is not
It's
an
only
emergency.
2.5 hours.
This is not an emergency management exercise. It's much more of a communication, how to go about doing communications.
Yeah, because the other one kind of an all-day thing, this is
That's right.
2.5 hours. That's why I was curious.
This may include other council members from other communities as well. She's trying to prepare one. I think it's a good thing to do, just because of various emergencies that can happen, and just to having an understanding around it.
Would
go ahead.
that include fire chiefs too, or?
We can certainly invite them to the meeting. So if you're prepared and okay with it, I can pick a date and we can make a decision on that.
I think just pick a date or see when she's available, because, I mean, July is kind of a wonky month. People are here and there and everywhere, so. So before we go any further on this, we do have a public hearing at 1 o'clock, and if we want to have a bite to eat, I would suggest we take a break now. And I think, is everything set up in the kitchen, Heather?
Told Kayla just set it up in the kitchen.
Okay, we're just gonna go and get our plates and bring them in here because of the 1 o'clock, and we're running short on time, so, do we need a resolution or anything right now, or Heather can? just
We'll bring
stop the
this back.
recording?
Yeah,
Okay.
just tell